Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Happy Monday. We are back. And we are joined by Jaco Booyens, Blaze TV contributor and host of The Bottom Line, along with founder of Jaco Booyens Ministries, doing great work over there, my friend.
Thank you.
You can help them over at helpjbm.org. Also joined by Logan Hall, Blaze Media's own digital strategist. Ready to go. You guys got the blue memo, apparently.
I guess.
I didn't.
Blue in your hat. It's there. Maga mom.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Maga mom, you got it?
Okay. All right. It'll do. There's blue on the sides too, which, by the way, you can find this at saramerch.com. You can also find me at, there it is, saramerch.com. This support your local Ice Raids cup there as well, along with a bunch of other stuff. You can also find me at americanbeautybysara.com. Go stock up on your lipstick and skincare. By the way, we do sell, it is Pride Month. We do technically sell to trans because we have to. It's illegal not to, but I don't like them. Anywho. Over the weekend in Boulder, Colorado, there were these Jewish Americans who had gathered for a peaceful pro-Israel rally when a man by the name of Mohammed Solomon showed up, armed with Molotov cocktails and a makeshift flamethrower, and began attacking them. It was like 8 victims attacked in broad daylight, savagely burned in the city of Boulder, Colorado. And I want to play some of the details from the FBI press conference. Watch.
I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack.
And there it is.
The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene in the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
So there was some video of some of the recorded aftermath. Those of you who are listening on audio podcast, we've got some of that. You can see just billowing smoke. And obviously total chaos, which you would expect in a situation like this. So you guys are going to be so shocked to hear that this man came into the country during the Biden era in August 2022 on a B2 tourist visa that he, of course, they mention he intentionally overstayed for over 2 years. So was here illegally while he was planning the attack. And then afterwards, after he was arrested, he told investigators he, quote, wanted to kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. And they also went on to say he stated that he hated the Zionist group and did this because he hated this group and needed to stop them from taking over, quote, our land, which he explained to be Palestine. And he told them
from Egypt, right?
Yes.
By the way.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. From Egypt. And he also told investigators he planned the assault for a year and was waiting until after his daughter graduated to conduct the attack. And this is just, I hate to say this because this is really tragic. This is just going to keep happening. This is going to keep happening in this country. It's just going to get worse from here on out because the Biden regime intentionally let these people in, didn't vet them properly, didn't screen them properly, opened the damn floodgates and said, come on in. And we had people from Egypt and Turkey and Iran and all these places that, I don't know, historically, they don't really like us that much. And so we're going to keep seeing these types of things happen. And I can predict, it's very easy to predict just based off of the sheer numbers that Joe Biden let in, that almost all of them are going to be tied to the Biden era. coming in, either just crossing the border illegally, being flown in by the Biden regime, or of course, coming in and overstaying their visa and having nobody to come and follow up on that. I mean, like clockwork. Of course this is going to happen.
Look, no pun intended, but it is this Molotov cocktail of what happened in the Biden administration is you drive God out of a nation. You try to. You make a nation completely immoral. Truth becomes fluid. Your version of the truth. You import all kinds of radical ideologies from all over the world. And in this guy's case, not only does he come from a territory that historically looks at all of us, including Jews, as infidels that should be exterminated, but now he picks up another's offense, which is why I love the Bible. The Word of God talks about do not pick up another's offense. You cannot live by vengeance. You cannot take the law into your own hands. All of that is at display here. It is like a radical display of what you get. This is a guy from another country picking up an offense of another people group that he's not even of, being in a third country where he's living under safety, where his child goes to college, fighting a fight across the waters, radical ideology. It's a hate crime. It's a religious crime. I'm glad that it was classified as an act of terrorism, but it's also it's a hate crime and a religious crime also. He should go very deep.
I mean, I would say, and I don't disagree with you. I also would say, for the record, I think the fact that we have to categorize hate crimes is ridiculous. However, if we're going to apply that standard, we should apply it equally.
Yeah.
Right. And so often they are so willing to say, oh, if a white male commits a crime, let's try to find the hate crime there. So it's like, all right, if we've got hate crimes, then we need to apply this standard equally.
Correct.
Certainly this guy admitting to investigators that he wanted to rid the world of Zionists, he's telling on himself there.
There's another short guy with a little mustache that said similar things about the same people.
Right. Exactly.
If we're gonna, I'm not a big fan of designating things as hate crimes either, but if we're gonna be classifying them in that way, I think mass immigration is a hate crime against America.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what? Honestly,
can you think of? I mean, there are a few things more treasonous.
Yeah, after a certain point. When you see how many of these illegals have committed crimes against our people, our civilization, you have to say that you're left with no other conclusion that other than the Biden administration and the Democrats brought them in here for this explicit purpose, to wreak havoc on our country, to hurt our people, to damage innocent people, to damage the rule of law, to damage the safety of our country and our communities. There's just no other explanation other than that. And, obviously, this kind of just seems pretty self-evident, because if you're going to import a bunch of people who hate you and hate your civilization, millions of them, and then give them free money and also tell them that our country is evil and we're a terrible people, then what else, what could go wrong? I mean, it seems self-evident that they would just do this, okay? And I think your point was important, that they hate us and they hate the Jews. When leftists look at Israel, they don't really see them as Jewish. They see them as white, which is what all of the left, which is what the left is determined to destroy the most. They really, really hate Western civilization. They say it. It's their basic stated goal. I think this should not really concern us. I don't know why we're importing all these people with ethnic blood feuds halfway across the world. It doesn't make sense. My sole concern, and you say oh, well, they brought them in here unvetted. Well, even our vetting processes are terrible.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
So why even bring them here in the first place? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like
Let's say Trump's Muslim ban I supported the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got these people from these countries that overwhelmingly hate Western civilization. We don't need to be bringing them here at all.
You have to, at a certain point, our modern ideology, which is America is just an idea, and we bring these people and hand them pieces of paper, and they can magically be as American as you or me, whose ancestors have been here for 300 years. No, at a certain point, we're going to have to say, some people just are not compatible with our civilization, okay? And this is why mass deportations are so necessary. It's the most important thing, in my opinion. all these people have to go back. All right? You're not going to have people firebombing. And, I don't think really any of the foreign, I think it was a terrible thing. Those people were peaceful, but none of this really concerns us at the end of the day. They're not out there rallying for America or whatever. Like, this should not be our problem. All right?
Yeah. I mean, it is, at the end of the day, like you can say, and I've said this, and I would love to know, Jaco, from your opinion, because you're a little bit closer to what's happening in Israel. At the end of the day, I can say I obviously support their right to exist.
Yeah,
right. Like
fine.
I think that what is happening to them is terrible, but America has enough problems right now that I don't necessarily think that needs to be a priority for this country. However, people can gather and demonstrate for whatever the hell they want to, and they shouldn't have to do that and be threatened with death because some freaking terrorist came into this country under the Biden regime.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's well documented on the show. My grandmother escaped the Holocaust, and I'm a Christian, but half of my lineage is Jewish. But this is America. And to your point, when I came here as a citizen, you have to come here as a contributing member to this society, to this culture. I don't live my Africa ways in Dallas.
Right.
Okay, would be a lot easier. Bad guys would go away.
I was going to say, sometimes we talk about bad guys, and I'm like,
bad guys would go away.
Africa.
I'm just telling you, a different way in Africa. No, you can't. And so the vetting process, to your point, is one of, is this someone who's aligned with our values, who will become an American?
Yeah.
American.
Right.
First.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Well, I'm at the table. I'm the only one that's gone through the process where I had to swear an allegiance to this country, which has not happened. The word, I know you don't want to hear the word assimilation or whatever. It's important.
Oh, I want people to hear it every damn day.
But the nation, will you come to this country, lay down your sets of preconceived notions and traditions? And when you talk about these blood feuds, they last forever.
I know.
Forever, okay? Tribal infighting in Africa, they don't want to hear it, but there's massive racism, black on black in tribes, okay? They kill each other, they slaughter each other. You can't import that here and then protect it. Why bring it here?
Right.
Our Constitution wasn't to say bring the problems of the world and settle it on our shores, right? It's not, no, wait a second. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Now, there's still also a part of this where America is Israel's best friend. They have no one else. And so, but this wasn't that, though. This was just a bunch of Jews on a weekend doing what they do every week. Like I went to church this weekend and targeted on our soil. This individual should never have been in this country. People like this individual should not be in this country. They should be sent home. And yes, the vetting process for me has slipped. There was a time when maybe it was stronger. I said this 1,000 times. A wall doesn't make a country secure. I'd like a wall. Okay?
Yeah, it helps.
It's policy.
Yeah.
And like a child, don't threaten.
Right.
Because the first time you threaten and you don't execute, if you don't listen, I'm going to take your toy. You better take the toy.
You better do it. Yeah, you better follow through.
This is the time to take the toy.
Right.
Send them back.
Why do we have anyone named Mohammed Suleiman in this country ever at all? I mean, like, it's just, at a certain point, you have to be able to discriminate and say, okay, those guys from South Africa that showed up here, the 60 farmers that showed up here, you saw this. They're all waving American flags. They're all families. It's not just a bunch of fighting age males who barely speak any English. Okay, you have to say those people are going to be able to contribute and assimilate to our society, and people from Islamic countries are not. Right. Okay, like it's pretty simple. Right. But our modern immigration process has gotten this so backwards that we think, okay, well, we have to invite all these people from war-torn countries that historically do not like us, do not get along with Western civilization very well. And we're like, okay, well, they're no different than the South Africans. No, they're not.
Very different. Very different, because those South Africans aspired as kids to be more like America. But where in the world has that ideology that we're applying for the last 4 years, has it ever worked? Europe has lost its way completely because of that ideology. You go to London today, they got no-go zones where the cops won't even go in, where British citizens are being raped and abused, and they go, you're under Sharia law because they've taken over. It doesn't work. It's never worked. And so this is the moment to draw a hard line in the sand and say, hey, it's just not compatible, man.
Nope,
because ideology is the word. This is religion. When someone's religion, literal religion, is that you should not exist.
Exactly.
That doesn't change when you just...
And that's not just Israel. That's not just Israel. It's us too. I think that our entire way of life and Western civilization should not exist. I just want to be clear because everyone always talks about how they hate Israelis. They hate us.
No. It's not just Israel.
With a burning passion.
I would actually argue they hate America more than they even hate Israel because of the ideology and the faith.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You cannot be indoctrinated as a child. When the freaking horn goes off, you drop a mat and you point in a certain direction. And that indoctrination does not leave. You all of a sudden show up here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, taking all the amenities and all the things we have and then set someone on fire.
Right. Well, and here's what they're doing. They're settling in places like Texas and building Sharia law compounds.
Let's go. Let's go.
Who could have possibly predicted they would? I mean, and they're literally.
Who's allowing it?
I know.
Who's allowing it? The Americans.
Because they're like, oh, well, freedom of religion. We don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, no.
It's become freedom of terrorism.
Right, their religion is terror.
Yeah. How did this this happen after decades after 9/11? Was the deal that we go and spend trillions of dollars liberating, spreading democracy in the Middle East, and then having them all move here?
Right.
Like, what is... I've said this before, but there are times when I'll be delayed getting back to the office. I'll go out for lunch. And then on Fridays, whenever the Muslims have their religious gatherings, I'll be delayed in traffic for 10 or 15 minutes because there's hordes of Muslims moving out of their mosque into these nice little quaint Texas neighborhoods. What is going on? Okay. Yeah. These people have to go back. That you're coming here and setting up shop in our country, doing things that you did in your country. You want to bring your country here. Mm-hmm. That's not going to work.
Nope.
Okay.
I think it was on your show. I think that's the key. When that guy crossed the border and planted his flag.
Yeah.
In America, I'm like, wrong reason.
Which
Guatemala.
Guatemala. Yes. Yeah.
Came here for the wrong reason, man.
If you're so proud of your country, go back.
And then you got 60 farmers waving American flags coming in here.
They're the problem.
Right.
The problem.
Well, they're white. Yeah. We can't have more white patriotic people in this country, please. The left is already trying to get rid of the ones that exist. It really is incredible to see. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more, but we want to thank our sponsor of this segment, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for those of you who live in pain and you're like, this is just my life now. It doesn't have to be. You can try their 3-week quick start. It's less than $1 a day. And you can try it and see if you can actually get rid of your pain and just start living better, because what it does, it's 100% drug-free. It was developed by doctors who were tired of giving their patients super potent pain meds that would make you get loopy, you're not allowed to drive, you can't operate heavy machine. There's all these instructions that come with those pain meds. And they were like, we want to fight pain naturally. It's a really, really potent anti-inflammatory. It's worked for me. It's worked for Jaco. It's worked for his mom. His whole family has had success with Relief Factor. So go try it. If you're in pain, it can be life-changing for you. Okay, like I said, $19.95, get the 3-week quick start. The majority of people who buy that go on to keep ordering more. You can change your life with this. ReliefFactor.com. Get that over at ReliefFactor.com. Well, it is June 2nd, and what that means is that your girl here is forced to go to disgusting festivals every week. I mean, I should show you guys my calendar.
You should have come with me yesterday to the March for Life in Dallas.
Well, nobody else is going to these demonic events, so I have to go and show people you think I want to go? I don't want to be there, Jaco. I need like 10 showers and an exorcism every time I leave one of these events. But nobody else goes, so I have to. And I want to show you guys this is the so-called family-friendly Pride Festival in McKinney, Texas, just yesterday. And you will see, there's a drag queen taking tips from a young children. And those of you who are just listening on audio, you may be lucky right now. I don't know. A mother buying a pride flag fan for her young son, a shirt that says "Good Tits, Big Heart," Men dressed in skirts. There is the drag queen getting in a young girl's face while her mother is very gleeful, in fact, at this filming it. Actually, very happy with her choice to indoctrinate her child into this demonic cult. And there you have a young boy with a wig on, dressed in rainbow gear, probably maybe 10, more inappropriate shirts. And the volunteer bringing the children to the front of the drag show so they didn't miss anything and they could then give their tips to the drag queen, because nothing like indoctrinating young children into stripper culture before they even really understand what they're being indoctrinated into. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't show the Trump rainbow colored shirt that was worn at this family friendly event. The demons are still out.
Yeah. And one thing I want you to see in that whole picture is that it's parents taking their children to go stand in front of pedophiles and perverts. Because
Allegedly.
alleged perverts, alleged
I'll tell you this.
pedophilic behavior.
Let me add to your
a man
point.
dressing,
Let me add to your point. Hold
dancing
on.
sexually in front of a child, and whether he's drag or non-drag.
They seek out the kids. At every event that I went to this weekend, they
course.
seek out the kids. So to your point,
Because it's an
what you mean by that
indoctrination
is that like they could just ignore it. They could just walk past the kids. They seek the kids out every time.
The fact in this country that when it's a duck and it looks like a duck, we have to say it's allegedly a duck. It's allegedly a duck. Alleged behavior here. I will just say this to you. Any person, even if it was a woman, let's just say it wasn't a man, it was a woman dressed the way she was dressed, to dance the way she was dancing or he was dancing in front of a child is inappropriate.
Accepting tips. And then, by the way,
That's
at the
stripper
end,
culture in
that's
broad
stripper
public.
culture. And then at the end, taking all of the dollar bills and shoving them in his
In
chest?
front of a child.
Yes, in front of all of them.
Doing this in a child's face.
Right.
Right? It's inappropriate.
Completely
Man,
inappropriate.
women, dolphin, it doesn't matter how they,
Completely inappropriate.
Somebody
Yes.
posed a really good question back in the day. If a drink, but it was probably like the last Pride, whatever month. But they said, why do they never do these drag shows at nursing homes? They only do that. They seem to just seek out the children. They're never
that
doing them at
interesting?
nursing homes, huh? Yeah, it's obviously like everyone involved with that should probably go to jail. But it does seem to be dying down a bit. I've noticed a severe decline in the number of brands and government buildings and employees that are saying Happy Pride Month this time around. So I feel like that's a good win for sanity. Thank you, President Trump, for rescuing us from. I mean, I remember.
I saw some football teams.
Yeah, I saw a couple football teams, but I think there are like 13 or 14 now that didn't do it.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, which shows a good.
I don't like you guys very much right now, but I'm proud of that.
Yeah, which shows a good. That's progress, right?
Texas
We haven't won
Rangers?
yet. We haven't won yet, but we're on
the
our way there.
Rangers stood firm even during.
Yeah,
I know.
During-
I know.
Look, it's
They
being
did.
pushed back into obscurity, which is where this behavior shouldn't live at all. But if it's there, it should be in the shadows and the crevices from hell where it came from is where it should be pushed back to. So
You remember when Biden tried to change Easter
Transgender
Sunday to
Day of
Transgender Visibility Day
yeah,
or
no,
something?
no.
That was completely crazy.
1 year ago, you had on the lawn
They had on the front
of
lawn
the White House.
woo, with no shirts on.
This year, do you know what we had for Easter Day at the White House? Pastors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that we should. I saw my friends at the Old Glory Club propose this today, but they said Pride Month is out. American Pride Month is in.
I love that.
Well, officially, if tomorrow on the floor, Senator Cruz is launching a bill to actually declare June Life Month. And yesterday we had the March for Life, and it was interesting because we walked to the building where Roe v. Wade was instituted, the Dallas, Texas court. That's where Roe came in first, 50 years ago. And 2 years ago, when we marched Life Month during Pride Month, right? Protesters came out.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild, man. We were walking. Yesterday there was Hardly any, maybe one. So to your point, they're being pushed back, and it's not just
Maybe all that
President
U.S. aid money dried up.
Trump. Yeah, it's not just President Trump; it's the American people who are also starting to say no. But cities like McKinney, now you got to go look at McKinney's mayor and see who tolerates this. Now.
He's a loser. He's a total loser. He
loser,
loves
or
all
is
of
he an
this.
alleged loser? I'm just
No, he's a loser. Well, that's a less legally liable statement. I can call him a loser, and that's
alleged in
subjective.
front of everything and just start speaking the truth. But here's the problem: they tolerate it.
Yeah.
And so they're going to find a home in those cities. So when you talk McKinney, when you talk Frisco,
Yeah.
so now you have drag shows for kids. You've got Sharia law moving into those cities because they tolerate this crap.
Yeah, I just want to say something too about the it's usually single white women, but what I have noticed is that perhaps there has been less overall participation in this madness that we have seen on a higher level. But what I have seen on sort of a more of like a micro level when I go to these events is that there are more men coming with their wives and their children and playing along, and they all look exactly like you would expect. They've got like the moobs, and they're slob looking, and they're decked out in the, how much could I pay you to wear a pride shirt? You know what I mean? Like you would never.
Yeah.
I could offer you $1 million and you would never go out in public like that because you have self-respect and you're masculine, right? But like there's that was the guy that pissed me off the most. Look at that gay ass shirt that he's wearing.
Well, that's
Literally.
that's a guy that's completely lost.
It's one of those
any masculinity.
Pride Month, Black Lives Matter, kindness is everything, blah, 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 blah. Like, look at this total loser, this total freaking loser who isn't even man enough to protect his young kid from his wife's mental illness.
Yeah, the liberals are the party of weak men and unhappy women, and that's
Truly.
where-
The
where we're at.
glee that was on these mentally ill women's faces, watching what they were doing, subjecting their children to this type of content it was just like, you guys need to be studied for a very long time because something is seriously wrong with
No,
you.
they're sick. They're very sick. They are sick, and hurt people hurt people.
Well, I think it should be
It's
illegal
hurting their
to
own
hurt your
children.
children like that.
Hurting their own children.
That's called child abuse in my book. And unfortunately, it's only the 2nd of June, and I have way more of these.
Let's hope that they all die down and you don't have anything too crazy.
I hope.
Let me ask you a question on your own show.
Sure.
Number-wise, let's just go 2 years back. Not at the tail end of Biden when he was weekend at Bernie's and he had a fake set at the White House. In the middle of his tenure, right?
Yeah.
Number-wise, less the volume of
So the McKinney one that I went to, I had never seen before, so I couldn't speculate on that. However, the one in Mesquite was probably still around the same amount of people, but that one was always low attended. So what's really going to be I think the indicator is Dallas and Fort Worth. Those are the huge ones. Fort Worth is like all in the middle of downtown. The Dallas one is at Fair Park. And so those are the ones that are huge, gigantic. They have the festival, then they have the parade, it's like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that one will be the biggest indicator what we're dealing with here.
Interesting to see what
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I have already been thinking about that. I'm like, it's tough to say yet. Unfortunately, I have way more to go to this month. So I'll get back to you on that.
Good luck. Everyone pray for Sarah.
Yeah, please, please, please. Oh, and by the way, if you'd like to donate to help us in the work that we're doing, please go to texasfamilyproject.com and you can donate to help us. I mean, if anything else, just for my counseling to get through this. That's a joke. But really, we would appreciate your any help you can give us at texasfamilyproject.com. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more. But I want to thank our sponsor this segment, Preborn. So, Stephen, throw up. Yeah, this stuff that they're telling me to read is for the month of May. And I don't know if anyone realizes this, but we've just been talking about it being June. So I want to go straight to however many we have. Okay, thank you. So the month of May, we were trying to get to 600 ultrasounds. They're giving us another week because we're almost freaking there. Look at that. What would you call that? I don't know how many there are, but it's somewhere in between what? It's over. That's got to be over 500.
550.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get to 600. Guys, I just need you guys to go to Preborn's website. I'm going to give it out in a second and go donate $28. What that $28 is going to do, it's going to sponsor an ultrasound. They are giving scared women who have these unplanned pregnancies, who go into, if they're not going into a preborn clinic, they're going into a Planned Parenthood clinic and they're being told that it's just a clump of cells. And don't worry, you won't regret it if you just abort your own baby. Preborn is actually showing women the truth on ultrasound. And in that moment, that woman is twice as likely to choose life. So that $28 is the difference between life and death of a baby. We are trying to get to 600. They've given us an extra week to get there. I believe in you. Come on, guys, $28. All I'm asking is $28 from all of you. We will blow that out of the water if we do that. Preborn.com/Sarah. You can donate securely over there at preborn.com/Sarah. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. I don't know. Well, first of all, hello. I'm not sure if you were able to catch that last segment that we just did, but if you didn't, hi, welcome back. Also, I'm not sure how much of this segment is going to be on YouTube. So if we lose ya, you can go over to blazetv.com/Sarah and subscribe. You can use promo code Sarah for some savings. blazetv.com/Sarah. It's not my rules. I can't help it. Okay. I can do nothing about it. It's the YouTube overlords. But that's all I can say. And on that note, do you guys remember last Olympics when there were a bunch of questions surrounding the totally female, very feminine, very elegant looking boxer, Imane Khelif, who won pretty heavily, pretty handily, beating the crap out of the actual female contender? If you don't, here's a little refresher.
Solid, straight right hands.
So tapped out, I don't really want to get beaten by what appears to be a man. And I can say that without anyone labeling me fake news, because there has been a lab leak, but not COVID. This was actually a report that was done, a leaked medical report that proves that look at this, dude. This is a biological male. And he has been all along, of course, which should have been obvious to anyone with eyeballs. Could you put that, please, back up on the screen, Stephen? Is there a way that you can crop that? I don't know why we don't just have a picture of this beautiful woman. Okay, great. Thank you. So we've got this. I mean, who would have guessed? And just look, who would have guessed that was a man?
Do we need a leaked medical report?
Yeah, well, no, if you have common sense. Yes, if you're the mainstream media and you were just calling everyone who ever had a question about this dude, I don't even know, sexist, transphobic, whatever, when everyone was just like, no, I just have eyeballs and I'm telling you that is a dude. And they're like, no, it's not. It's just a very muscular woman. No, actually it was a dude the entire time who was allowed to almost beat the crap out of a woman in the Olympics.
No, he beat the crap out of a lot of women.
Well, thank you. You're right.
To just get into the Olympics, because there's qualifying rounds. So let me give you an example here. Marion Jones, American sprinter, U.S. sprinter, banned substance abuse, stripped of all her Olympic medals. Ben Johnson beats Carl Lewis in the 100-meter finals, okay? Stripped of his golden medal. Not trans, performing in his own gender, but under an illegal manner. This boxer is a man, should be stripped of anything ever won. But how do you make up? Because you can strip someone of a medal, but how do you make up for women in the process that were walked over, stepped on, college scholarships not granted to certain athletes? The Olympics is once every 4 years. If you make one, you're one of 1% of society. You can't make right for that. This is a mental illness in our country to tolerate this crap, and it's still happening today. Gavin Newsom last week, President Trump tweeted about it.
Yeah, he did.
They're allowing a male to compete again now. This is not even the Olympics. This is today in America. Our nation is sick by tolerating this kind of crap for just even for a second.
Here's a
Look at
question.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
There was a question. There was a question.
Here's a question that no one's asking. All right. Should we have females boxing in the first place?
No.
Is it really, if I go
No.
out there and see, if I watch two women just beat the crap out of each other and they're bleeding and
It's
they're
not
bloody,
enjoyable.
not very enjoyable.
No.
Doesn't seem very natural. Doesn't seem like a role that women should really. Boxing should be for like big, strong men. Muhammad Ali. It's not. This is not a thing that I think women should even be doing. But this is even kind of goes to your point. We're sick as a society where we've inverted all of these roles. Patrick Buchanan said, any nation that sends its daughters to war is not a nation worth defending. We have all of these traditional gender roles that have been flipped on their heads. That we're somehow like, why do we have women boxing in the first place? Who is going to watch and attend these events? It's crazy, but it's just more of the same. And this is sort of what has happened. Feminism, sort of the end goal of not the end goal, but the end result is that it has all of these men now pretending to be women. So congrats, feminists.
Yeah. I'm reading now that I loved it. I saw a New York Post tweet earlier, and it was a tweet about, I'm going to see if I can find it. It was a tweet about this, and they referenced him still as she.
No, I mean, see, yeah.
As they said her or she, and I was just like, what are you talking about? It's
New York Post is supposed to be like the conservative.
That's why I was like, what am I reading right now? Like, how
Fox
is this?
News does this too. Though.
Fox News does do it.
They will.
Fox
They
News,
play
yeah, Fox
big
News
time.
is, well, Fox News is the worst because they are even more in your face about like being conservative, even though they're not. New York Post, I guess, tries to kind of like play the middle. But I have to find this.
Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I couldn't. Olympic boxer Imane Khelif's leaked lab results offer new evidence about her biological sex.
Huh.
So they predetermined for you that it is a woman, but now we're going to challenge the report. So they're going to challenge DNA, which they have been for a long time. Look, this is just the answer is absolute nonsense. This is bullcrap. That's a man. By the way, in any area of society, when a man wants to literally punch women in the face, you should frown upon it. But here, under this context,
We used to call it domestic abuse. Domestic violence.
This is, and then it's the same people that will cry out women's rights, women's rights. Like, where's the women's rights?
It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
It's just
Because it doesn't. It's a circular argument.
it's insanity.
Yeah, before we go, I just, maybe this is a controversial opinion. I don't like watching boxing of any sort. Like, I don't want to watch men beat the crap out of each other either. I just don't. I don't like boxing, and I don't like NASCAR.
Oh,
Is that weird? I don't, because I don't, it gives me anxiety. I'm like, I watch people crash and I'm like,
you gotta love that.
I hate it.
No, it's your right to not like either. It'll be a very controversial conversation because you'll have the UFC, you'll have Dana White and going, hey, listen, these women are very skilled. Shevchenko, they're very skilled. And the argument
just not
of
enjoyable
should
to
women punch each
watch.
other, I don't enjoy it at all. I love the sport of boxing. I like martial arts. My son is in jiu-jitsu. I like the art form. It's an art form. And I like Formula One a whole lot more than NASCAR. But man, I should
never
take
watched
you to a
Formula One.
NASCAR race.
I've never watched Formula One.
NASCAR's awesome. I would
I'm
almost
like,
take
this
the,
driver's
When
gonna
you smell
die.
that gasoline, when you smell that gasoline one
It's
time,
not that, like, I mean, I love the
it will
driving.
cure
I don't
you of
like the
electric
crashing.
vehicles.
I'm not.
Fix a whole lot of problems.
Yeah.
I would take the extreme opposite position where I think we should bring back like gladiator coliseums and have people fighting to the death for President Trump's approval. That would be awesome.
I'm
Okay, that would be
not
kinda
in-
cool.
I'm not in that camp.
Yeah, no. All right, we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back. Well, you may have missed it because it wasn't covered by any of the mainstream media who they seem like they care an awful lot about whether or not someone is a Nazi or a white supremacist. In fact, that's all that they seem to care about at any given moment. And it is shocking to me that they missed their very own Cory Booker himself with, listen, I don't even, be advised, viewer discretion advised here. This is pretty shocking footage of Cory Booker doing the Nazi salute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a way to find out, that Cory Booker is actually a white supremacist and a Nazi. But I've been reliably informed that if you do anything like that on a stage, that you are in fact a Nazi. Specifically when Elon Musk did something similar, and the entire mainstream media, there is the side-by-side, the entire mainstream media just completely defamed him and said that that was a Nazi salute. I really don't see the difference. Now, it's funny because I told Steven, when was it, Steven? Yesterday. I said, watch. They're going to say that it's different because Cory Booker's hands are a little more relaxed and Elon's were outstretched. And sure enough, Keith Olbermann, you didn't disappoint me, because he tweeted out, I shit you not, he said, Musk's hand is closed, fingers together. That's a salute. Go ahead and play this while I'm talking. Yeah. Musk's hand is closed, fingers together. That's a salute. Booker's fingers are opened. That's a wave goodbye.
Wow.
That's the big difference there, is that one of their hands is relaxed, the other is not. Therefore, Elon is a white supremacist, Cory Booker is not. I mean,
can Cory claim to be a genius and borderline on the spectrum? I guess not. So he's in his full competence. He's completely with it, right?
Right.
It's laughable. The whole conversation is laughable. And you predicted it, and I'd love to see what The View has to say about it.
I think they may have missed that
They
story.
love him.
I think they may have missed that story today. Yeah.
They lost the
Didn't see it
paper
anywhere.
from the editor's room or the producer's room to the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Didn't see it anywhere. I mean, now remember, even though Elon had just, when he did it, he had just gotten done saying, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
What I think,
and reached at his heart.
My heart goes out to you. Yeah.
And went out like this.
I think that was probably his explanation for the media. I think what was more likely is that Elon, as you said, is a little bit autistic, and he has somewhat of a fascination with Rome. I've seen him post multiple times about Rome, and that's a traditional Roman salute. So I think he probably just got done
he should have owned that.
He probably was just reading about Rome or saw some tweet about Rome and decided to throw a Roman salute. Probably not the best timing, because he may have known that it would be interpreted that way by the media. But people should recognize, we don't need to ascribe this to, not everything is like fascism and the Nazis, okay? This is a traditional Roman salute. Americans actually used to do this salute back in the day. They taught it in public schools. Kids would do Roman salutes, but we're not allowed to do that anymore because of fascism or.
But if you would go to Washington, D.C., all our buildings are literal Roman.
Oh, I know.
The
founders wanted us to be the new Rome. They were very
Roman temples.
Yes.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, Logan. Go ahead and throw up Hillary and Kamala. So is this Roman, or are they Nazis?
I don't know if there's a good answer to that question. I don't know. I haven't seen these before today, so I would need the video.
No, wrong answer. The answer is they would certainly accuse you of being a Nazi.
Yeah, 100%.
Therefore, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, they are white supremacists. And remember, I've been reliably informed by the left that you don't need to actually be white to be a white supremacist.
Yeah.
I've been accused of being a white supremacist. Eric July has been accused of being a white supremacist. You don't have to be. Hey, listen, these are your rules. I'm just going to play by them now.
Remember, if you voted for Trump and you were black, you lost your blackness.
Yeah, you ain't black. So you must be a white supremacist.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it really is. I'm saying this in jest, but it really does infuriate me that they spent how many days, how many networks spent how many hours of how many days completely defaming and smearing Elon Musk's name when there's no modicum of evidence to suggest that he holds any sort of those views. They just wanted to smear him. And now you have Cory Booker, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Silence.
Nobody wants to talk about it. I mean, especially
Cory
when
Booker's also not very notable, not a very impressive figure. I mean,
he's a Democrat lawmaker.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a pretty low bar, you know. So I don't.
Touché.
Yeah, it's pretty low bar. So I'm willing to excuse this.
Oh my gosh, Logan! I don't even recognize you.
Okay,
I don't even recognize
Cory
you.
Booker is a complete joke. So
Okay, all right, but how about whenever Elon Musk did it, you had PBS that receives American taxpayer money.
That's fine.
They were talking about how Elon Musk was a Nazi.
I stand with you on the dual standard in our country. There's a complete dual standard here, and it should
The
be measured.
lamestream
by their
media,
rules.
nobody cares what they say. Screw them.
Unfortunately, too many people do still watch. Now, it's disastrously much lower than ever
still too
before.
many.
Right. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like
too many.
5 people watching them would still be too many for me.
Their own family were watching them. It would be
It's too much. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Although I think that's about what they're reduced to when you
I
look
want
at
to
the
ask
ratings.
them, where's your mama that's not setting you straight?
Oh, yeah.
Liberal boomers are the last ones that are watching them.
No.
You don't think?
No, you got some you still have some radicalized Gen Zers that are still not.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's not done. Go to college campuses. We're not done.
It's like a
Stop
what's that?
thinking we're done, Logan.
I don't think
We
we're
gotta
done.
fight,
I don't think
buddy.
we're done.
What's
We gotta
that?
fight.
Who's
I
the
don't
morbidly obese
we gotta
girl who's
push.
like,
We gotta
I'm going to
push
help get
the
Gen Z
crazy
males.
out.
Olivia
not done.
Juliana or
Got work to
whatever.
do.
Like, honey,
We have
at
a lot of
400
work to do.
pounds. I
You
don't
just
think
showed drag shows for kids, for crying out loud. We have work to do.
I
in
wasn't
this
saying
country.
we were done. I'm saying the media is pretty much.
the legacy media is irrelevant. No, I understand that. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back. Well, let's leave you guys with this. We've got a couple minutes left here. Let's play Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent with CBS News' Margaret Brennan on tariffs. I just love we're talking about the mainstream media. They think that they're like, oh, I'm going to do a gotcha. I'm going to get him. It's going to be so good. And it just doesn't really work out with this administration. Watch.
Listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producer.
Whoops. Uh-oh. I don't think she was expecting that. Also, literally, as we were playing that clip, I just got a news alert in my email. Report, egg costs down 61% since start of Trump's second term.
Yep.
But those are pesky facts.
Yeah.
They don't want the facts.
He did a I don't really care, Margaret sort of moment there. Yeah. I mean, also, whatever, like, she is maybe one of the dumbest people that you could go to in terms of this. Like, they're so self-confident, but they're so stupid, and they're a DC bubble. It's crazy. Yeah, but I think Trump has pretty much proven everybody wrong. They were just predicting like doom and gloom on the tariffs, and it hasn't materialized once again.
They're rooting for it, Jaco.
No, again, they want this nation to fall. The end justifies the means. They actually want the implosion of America. I promise you, Logan, there are some good immigrants in this country. We'll educate you. You're a little behind on that, but we'll help you.
We'll see.
You can't like Elon and not like the rest.